Meteorologist Scott Dorval with the Idaho News 6 forecast.
Well, the fire situation has obviously been the top story here over the past several weeks. What seemed to be a quiet start to the fire season, even the middle part of it, has really taken off, mostly in California, although it started in Colorado, California, and Oregon, having some of the worst fire activity they have ever seen. Same thing in Washington as well. So, in our Climate Matters segment, let's take a look at the activity, how it's changed since 1980 up to 2019. So, when we look at the graphic here, what you're going to notice is that since 1980, notice we've got a temperature trend here that went from 48 average temperature to up to 50 for the average. And this is for all the western states here. And then notice the orange bars. That's the amount of acres burned in thousands of acres here. And so we had some pretty big years. But one thing you'll notice when you go, 2000 is right about here. Okay, that's the turn of the century. So if you draw a circle here, you don't see a lot of orange in here, but you have one huge spike here, one of the largest. But look at the comparison with this circle here. Look at all the orange showing up. Since 2000, there has been a marked increase in fire activity across the western states, and it just comes in peaks. Some years are not so bad, other years are awful, and there's a lot more years that it's been bad. In 2020, the numbers aren't in yet, but of course that number is going to be up there. So how does Idaho fare? Let's take a look at the numbers since 1980, and what you'll notice is about every 8 years or so, there's a really bad year, and those big spikes that we're seeing here a little further apart before now are getting a little closer together. And we haven't had one. We've had decent activity here, but it has been decreasing, which has been great. It hasn't been bad the last couple of years. This year with the Woodhead fire, we'll have to see how that number comes up, where this bar graph will go for 2020, but we'll keep an eye on it. So Idaho hasn't really seen that huge trend we've seen in the West, but we have some pretty big spikes. They come periodically, so we have to be ready for them. All right, here's all the smoke in California, and the upper level wind direction is doing this right now. So it's keeping most of the smoke, again, in California, while the western wildfires here, you see the wind, the upper level wind is now coming down from the north here, and that's basically protecting Idaho from getting this smoke. But that's going to be changing coming up, and we're likely to see more smoke coming in. I'll tell you when. Low pressure is only slowly moving away, but it's allowing just a nice warming trend coming over the northwest right now. So temperatures will climb nicely into the weekend. Let's watch the wind direction now. So the smoke here, when we take a look at this being on Friday afternoon, the smoke is still going to be going down to the south, but it's going to be pushing further east into Oregon here. And as we go into Saturday, the wind flow going clockwise around this high pressure system, now we start to see this smoke coming around, and smoke here potentially coming into Boise as early as Saturday afternoon, and much of Idaho on Sunday. Look at the upper level wind as the colors change here. We're getting a stronger flow of air coming in this direction, and this is what it was like, the wind flow, when we had the massive smoke. So we could use a break and get some precipitation. We look at the 7-day forecast here, and look at the blue showing up in Portland down to Medford. Excellent news there as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday. It could push into Northern California. Certainly Oregon has a chance of getting some rain early next week, which would help a lot. In the meantime, we've got 11% humidity with temperatures in the 80s right now, and those temperatures are going to be changing. You see 89 on Friday. Now we're going up to 97 for the day on Sunday. That's going to be record heat, while in the mountains, 80s are likely over the weekend, dropping into the 70s next week. Quick check at my Idaho News 6 weather forecast for the Treasure Valley. And once again, you'll notice those temperatures getting hotter, up to near 90 degrees. That's going to be the key. We'll have a northwest breeze developing in the afternoon as well. Mountains will continue to see that temperature climb also. My 10-day temperature trend, look at the record heat on Sunday. 94 is the record. We'll hit 97. And then that nice steady decline next weekend could be totally different, only 80. Karen, that's a big change.